Hello and welcome back to my channel, my little pumpkin spice babies. So this week I replicated my dog's fabulous life and I put it into a tiny little version of her life. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Hello and welcome back to my work table. It's so good to see you again. To start off, I'm so sorry for that whole pumpkin spice comment. I would be very offended if someone called me a pumpkin spice baby. But here is my baby, my precious, precious girl. I love her so much. So this week we are going to immortalize our beautiful, beautiful girl. Now I will say this is just a rough sketch. Don't burn me. Rough means rough. No pun intended. So, as you might be able to tell, we are going to make her out of clay. Now, I had to mush all this clay together because my dog is like orange, but red, but brown, but black at the same time. So, there was a lot of tweaking that I had to do to make this the most perfect tigress color in the world. So her name is Tigress. She's 10 years old, and from her name, I'm sure you can be a great detective and figure out that she probably looks a little bit like a tiger. Otherwise, what would be the point of naming her that unless we were just trying to play some really weird joke that nobody would understand? All right, now let's start making the dog. Smush! First course of action was to make her precious cute little face and her floppy long ears on both sides. She has the most expressive little ears in the world. I think they're so derpy and so cute. So after I got the basic features on her little face, I went in and smoothed it all out, which was honestly the stupidest thing I could have done because in the end, I end up making fur with an X-Acto blade anyway. So this was low-key a waste of time, but I just really wanted to make sure that all the pieces were adhering to each other. And then I went on to make her body. So the way that I made this was kind of by rolling out a sausage looking thing and then smushing it to her head. I don't know if you do this with your pets, but I give my dog the most ridiculous names ever. So one of my ridiculous names is My Little Sausage, which don't make it dirty because it's not. I call her my little bus stop, I call her my little hand sanitizer, I call her my little water droplet. Anything goes because she's my little everything. I will say I did make her kind of beefy all around. Like this dog got some shoulders. Like she been hitting the doggy gym 24/7. Y'all ain't got nothing on this beef cake. Anyways, so I put her little arms on, her little legs on, everything is on, and at this point I kind of realized, there's something wrong with her arms. It just don't look right. So I added more to her paws because I don't know what I was doing before. I think I was trying to make it look like she was laying down, but I didn't bend her arms correctly. Listen, dog anatomy is not what I went to school for and dropped out for. Okay? Okay. Haha, not pursuing higher education. That's hilarious. Kind of is. But here we go on putting her tail on, and we're almost done with this cute little girl, except not at all, because there's a lot of details that she requires, and one of them is her tiger stripe. So I really wasn't lying to you guys before when I said that this dog looks like a tiger. I think I included a clip of her later on in the video, so you'll see it a lot better. As I do more and more of these projects, I always have these thoughts after I do them where I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just like painted this on after. That's a great idea because I've kind of put myself in a box with these tiger stripes where I feel like it could have been a lot more free flowing during the painting process because I was gonna add more things to her anyways. So In retrospect, we're all perfect. So here we go on creating the bowls for the dog because she has to drink and she has to eat. So this is the water bowl. It's blue. I'm a genius, obviously. Then I made a second bowl for her food. I'm kind of sad because I wish I would have made these plates similar size. So now it's time to go bake our little doggy. And then we have the culprit. Oh yes, baby, you're so pretty. She doesn't really like being on camera, so. So yes, that's the precious girl I've been talking about thus far. She's amazing and beautiful and I love her so much. But here we go in painting her fur with a different brown color to give more dimension, more of that orange that I was talking about. And then we go in painting her snout. Now, don't yell at me for it because it's it like just looks so bad. Oh my god, what is that? What is that? Girl looks like she's addicted to cocaine. But here we are moving on with our popsicle stick transitions. I just cut all these up for you guys in the background so you didn't have to sit through me doing the same things that I've done in other videos. I'm sure you've seen how I do it. And here we go in putting a little doggy door for my little doggy. And of course, we do have to put the trim in because my dog is very high maintenance and she would automatically kill me for the unpleasant aesthetics of that door without trim. Anyways, thank God I put it on so we don't have to deal with that. And here we go, creating the roof for this little doggy house. I think because of the slant of the roof, it was a lot more difficult to cut through all the popsicle sticks all at once. But it's okay because it ended up working really well at the end, so can't really complain. After I cut this up, I went in and started cutting the inside of this. Now this is going to be our door. This thing took me forever to actually cut out because I didn't know this about popsicle sticks, but the brown ones super easy to cut through. The lighter ones difficult to cut through, but I did it. So here we have our little door and I went in trying to figure out a way to like close the door. At the end you'll see that like I didn't think through this. Honestly, I was laying down one night and after I had done this already and I was like, oh my god, this little latch literally does nothing. You can just push open the door, which defeats the whole purpose of like a dog house because I don't want any strange raccoons coming up to my dog in the middle of the night, even if she's made out of clay. So I took this little handy dandy hand drill, drilled through both of the pieces and created holes in both of them. I love this little tool. It's the most helpful thing I've seen. And then I took this old pin, pinned it through both the pieces and clamped it together to, you know, make sure that it doesn't fall out and functions correctly. Then I had to Mod Podge this door before I put it on. And we are going to reinforce all the sides so that like none of the pieces break apart, things like that. I always do this before I do any actual work because it makes your piece a lot more sturdy, and that is what we're looking for. So then I found these tiny little hinges at the craft store. You have no idea how happy I am. And then I put it together. Now the screws for this thing were so tiny and they were actually nails, so it was very difficult to get it in, but here we have a working, functioning door. Amazing. I'm so happy. And then we're going to just do the same thing to the doggy door part of this whole thing. And now the assembly comes into play. Finally, this took me so many days to get to this point. So we're just going to put all the pieces together and make sure that they're all at 90 degrees so everything works out. Press it all together, make sure all the glue dries. And now it's really starting to look like the vision in my head that I imagined when I was thinking of this piece. And here we have all the four walls all put together. And then we're going to Mod Podge the inside of this because once we put the roofs on, we cannot go back and Mod Podge this. Like maybe you could like do it through the doors, but you're not going to be able to get through all the little nooks and crannies that we need to get into, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You're not stupid. I'm so sorry for undermining you like that. And here we go on putting the trims on the roofs. And here we have the roofs. Cute, I know. And so I wanted a little front porch for this piece. So here we go, putting the roof for the front porch because the dog needs to lay there and sunbathe. And then if it wants shade, it can like go lay on the porch, you know? And now we have the main roof, and we're gonna put a trim on top to sort of cover the ugly line in the middle that I really don't like because it just looks unfinished to me when you don't have like trims everywhere. So I pressed it all down really, really hard. Honestly, I sometimes stood there for like 10 minutes straight just holding pieces together. Wasn't gonna show you all that struggle, but here we go, putting the little doggy bone on top of her house with her name on it so no other dogs can come in and steal her house. Clearly it has her name on it, so it's hers. We all know dogs can read. So then I go put on multiple coats of Mod Podge on the whole house. I just showed the roof because I was like, I get, like, you're probably gonna get the point. So, and then we have that like little hook on the side for her leash. And we're gonna Mod Podge the dog as well because she needs multiple coats because this is clay. And I already broke off one of her ears once. I wasn't gonna show you my mistakes because I am perfect. At this point, we were getting down to the nitty gritty. Everything was coming together. I made this little leash. It's blue, my favorite color in the world. And it's like a no slip leash because my dog is a little wild. She can slip pretty much anything you put on her. So I made sure, again, to replicate her life as best as I could. And it fits her coat so well. I just think she looks so good with blue. Such a pretty freaking girl. Look at her. So cute. And then we go in making the last little bits of everything. So this is the dog bowl. So I used these tiny plastic little beads and put them in there to create the texture of like dog food. And I think it worked really well. And obviously we had to paint it brown for dog food because, I mean, have you seen dog food that's not brown? I haven't. That's kind of weird, actually. Anyways, this is what it looked like after I had painted it, and then I put a big thick coat of Mod Podge all over it to kind of blend it all together, make it look more rounded, things like that, because these plastic pieces are a little like jagged looking, especially on the sides. I use nail polish, like the clear kind, for the water. I think it looks pretty good. And here we have the final product. So a lot of you might be like, why didn't you paint this? But I kind of like the natural look of this. So if you do think that I should paint some of these pieces, like definitely tell me. But if you like the natural look, that's great. So I started off by like assembling everything together. I made this little comforter for her to, you know, sleep on when she's feeling tired. And here's my puppy up close. Her eyes do need a little bit of work, but who cares? I think she's still cute. We're just gonna close her up in there and put the leash on the hook. That's why I made the hook in the first place, is because like that would be a cute place to like put her stuff there and hang it up there. So like when we're ready to go on walks, ready to go. Yes, I just snapped. Anyways, and then I put her little water bowl and food bowl out there because she needs to eat and drink. So, as you just saw, we made this little dog house for my little doggy. I love this thing so much. I love my little pup. She's so adorable. A few things. The dog. I pretty much got my dog like accurately except for the snout because I started off by doing it cartoony and then I switched over to like realistic halfway through. That's okay. And then this thing, I like realized, I was like, oh, if this was a real house, my dog could just push this open and escape. Because typically there are things inside here where, you know, you open it basically. Anyways, somehow, if you get the right cut of the wood, you would be able to close this, seal it up with this thing, and then your dog can't run away from you. I guess I should mention our dog is an escape artist. And the little hinges things, I had to like glue them in, and they still kind of keep popping out. And that's okay, because it was like my first time, and I didn't really show much of it on camera because it was just very difficult to do. Anyways, so I love this little house. I guess I will say, like, my dog, I guess I'm gonna bring down the mood. My dog is getting kind of older, and it's kind of sad to watch. I mean, she still acts like a puppy, so it's not like she's like sick or anything, but you can just see the grays in her face, and like, it's just really sad to see your dog, like, you know, go through the aging process, because I've had her for like 8 years now. It just puts me in a weird freaking place, but that's okay, because that's just what happens in life. I wanted to just immortalize her and make her like a part of me. Every time I even look at this thing, I'll be reminded of her. I mean, she's around all the time, like she's laying there right now, so she's like always close by, but you know, for the dreaded day that like she's no longer with us, I don't even want to think about it. She's gonna live forever. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I enjoyed making it for you. It was a lot of hard work, but I love doing this. So it has come for that time for me to say thank you for watching, but also I have to say goodbye, and you know how much I hate goodbyes.
I don't want to say goodbye to you, but I know that I have to, because this is how YouTube videos work.
Oh my god, my eyes itch.